This video is sponsored by Vessi. I think Thai people are about to hate me. Italian people are most certainly about to hate me, but this might be the tastiest pad Thai of my life. Let's find out. Hey everyone, it's Andong. Today we're once again going where no chef has ever gone before. I want to try making pad Thai pasta, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's pad Thai, only I'm going to be using classic Italian linguine to make it, and of course a completely different cooking method and a few outside the box ingredients to make this whole thing work. Now, why am I doing that? Well, in last week's video we talked about the surprisingly twisted and sometimes even dark history of pad Thai. You should see for yourself, but let's just say it's gonna make you question what authentic pad Thai even is. And while of course I could try making something like what you'd find on the streets of Bangkok, there are so many Thai chefs here on YouTube who are all gonna be doing a much better job at this than me, and I will link my favorite traditional recipe in the video description. But as a white dude who's never even been to Thailand, I have a much better idea, which is, well, this. I tried making Chinese dandan noodles with Italian pasta before, and it was glorious. In fact, so much so that I really want to take this concept to the ultimate test and make, well, pad Thai pasta. I have never tried this before, but I have very high hopes. So there's reason to be excited, and we're gonna start cooking after a quick word from this video's sponsor, Vessi. Vessi brings you comfortable and stylish everyday sneakers you can wear any time of the year. They have tons of different cool styles to choose from, some more casual, some more athletic. They wanted to send me one, and after I couldn't decide, they were kind enough to send me my two favorites. One of them is my everyday sneaker, it's a bit more athletic, it's by my door. And the other one is this, more of a, casual everyday look. And guys, honestly, the moment I first slipped my foot in effortlessly, I knew this is gonna be a great pair of sneakers. They really are incredibly comfortable. I could easily wear them all day, every day. Among other things, that's because of their amazing technology which keeps you cool in the summer and warm in the winter. Oh, and my favorite part, even though they don't feel like it, they're actually 100% waterproof. Seriously, your feet will stay dry even on a rainy day, and if your nice sneakers get dirty, no worries, waterproof, just rinse them off. They're also made sustainably, which I personally appreciate quite a lot, so I think it's decided. Vessis are my new everyday go-to shoes right by my door. They ship to a whole bunch of countries across the world, so make sure to check their website. You might even get free shipping. You can find the link in the video description below and use my code Andong to get 25 bucks off of your Vessi shoes. How does that sound? Thank you Vessi for sending me awesome shoes and sponsoring this video. And now let's make some pad Thai pasta. I got two pans over here. This is where we're going to be making the stir fry part of the recipe, and this is just to boil noodles, which is what we're going to start with. Okay, turning it on. Let's add a little bit of salt to this pasta water, which is probably the last authentically Italian thing we'll do in this recipe. Lid on, and while this is coming to a boil, we can start making our sauce. So we're starting with this, which is brown sugar. Now, an original pad Thai is usually made with palm sugar, but I think this comes pretty close. It has this kind of complex molassesy, caramelly taste to it, if you know what I mean. But honestly, you could easily use white sugar or any kind of syrup if you like. That should work as well. The next ingredient will be tamarind puree or tamarind paste. Make sure to get a Thai or Asian product, not the Indian ones, which tend to be very concentrated and intense. Gonna add I don't know, 1 tablespoon, maybe 2, something like that. Come on, let's go. Let's do 2.5. And look, I understand not everybody has tamarind paste at home. In fact, you probably don't have tamarind paste at home. The thing is, tamarind paste really has a very distinct flavor, and there's no really good substitute for it. A lot of kind of fast food Thai restaurants might use ketchup instead, and please don't do that. That's not a good option. What I did find though is this tamarind seasoning mix is usually used to make a Filipino sour soup called sinigang. So if you want a longer lasting tamarind ingredient, you could try this, but of course, looking at the ingredients, this is packed with MSG and stuff like that, which I don't mind, but it's not going to be the same as tamarind puree. And if you want to completely avoid getting tamarind ingredients from the Asian grocery store, use applesauce. Seriously, applesauce. Just as long as you don't use ketchup, please don't use ketchup. Then of course there is fish sauce, and I thought if we're making an Italian thing, why not just use, anchovies or something? But honestly, fish sauce is pretty much made from anchovies, so okay, brown sugar, tamarind, fish sauce. Looks pretty authentic so far, right? Well, not for much longer, my friends, not for much longer. We are making an Italian style pasta after all, so I decided to go for eggs, you know, to make this a carbonara style situation. Let's add this egg. Oh my God, it was a double yolk! Double yolk! Did you see that? You don't get that a lot. Maybe I should play the lottery today. I'm confused now. I was gonna add 2 eggs, but now I added 1 egg that contained 2 yolks. So what if there are 2 yolks in here as well? Should I? You know what? Let's just crack this egg open and see what happens. No, this was not a double yolk egg. This was an egg with 1 massive, massive yolk. This is the biggest yolk I've ever seen. So this is not too bad yet, because as we all know, there are eggs in a pad thai, only you kind of like add them in a different way. We're gonna mix them into the sauce. But, well, how about this, my friends? Enter Parmesan cheese. Parmigiano Reggiano, used in a pad thai for the first time ever. Let's just stir all of those together. Okay, so this is not the most appetizing thing ever, but you know what? No judgment yet. No judgment yet. You can judge me all you want later, but for now, let's just let me give it a try, okay? Let me give it a try. All right, our sauce is ready. We can set it aside and look at that. Our water has come to a boil. Perfect timing. Time to make pasta. And I am not sponsored, by the way, but this brand is pretty good. By the way, did you know that these packs of pasta are usually exactly 500 grams, which is exactly 4 portions of pasta. My Italian roommate told me that a while ago and it changed my life. No more guessing, ever. That of course means that half of this pack is gonna be 2 servings. How do the pros do it? Like that, right? Make sure your pasta doesn't stick together. And now, how long do we have to cook this? Cottura 12 minuti. Alexa, stelle Timer auf 12 Minuten. Hat der den Timer überhaupt gestellt? Irgendwie nichts gesagt. Set timer to 12 minutes.
Okay, 12 minutes and counting.
We have 12 minutes now to get everything else ready to go, which should work out just fine. Don't forget to stir your pasta, because otherwise it might stick. First thing we want to do is add a little bit of neutral cooking oil, canola, sunflower, whatever floats your boat. And then the first thing we're gonna do is add a couple of shrimps. So what's happening here actually has a dual purpose. On the one hand, we're getting our shrimps cooked and not too much. And on the other hand, we're infusing all of that oil with some delicious shrimpy flavor. At the same time, don't forget to stir your pasta. This is looking very, very good. I think I wanna, add a pinch of salt to my shrimps. And you know what? I think this is good enough. This only takes like maybe 3 minutes or something. Shrimps really cook quickly. Here they are, delicious shrimps. This oil already smells fantastic now. Just like shrimpy and full of umami, so good. And to that, we will be adding minced shallots. Quick little stir, looking good. To that, we're adding minced garlic. This is about 2 to 3 cloves worth. Oh, the smells are getting ridiculous. And now we're gonna do tofu. You know, tofu can't be missing in a great pad thai. We're gonna crumble it like this. This is something, vegans do that a lot to make like a quick minced meat substitute. And I think it's a great thing to do. But just as long as it's not soft tofu, you're good, because soft tofu is just gonna turn to brains. Oh, I love smoked tofu. It really has to be my favorite kind of tofu. Don't forget to stir your pasta. How are we doing? This is good. What about the 12 minuti? No, I don't want to overcook my pasta. Nobody likes overcooked pasta, so I'm gonna drain this.
A few moments later.
Here I am back with my pasta, and I almost forgot the most important thing, to keep the pasta water. That's what gives all those amazing Italian dishes their silky smooth texture. Okay, so I think this might need, a little extra glug of oil maybe. Just a bit. All right, perfect. So what's the next step? It is bean sprouts. I gotta tell you, bean sprouts, I love them. I was recently having a conversation with Chris from Chinese Cooking Demystified, who actually made a really good point. So he likes to plug these little things from mung beans because, in his opinion, they tend to get kind of stringy otherwise, which I think is a very fair point. If you want to use mung bean sprouts, but you don't really love the texture, try plucking that little like leaf thing off. It's gonna make them nicer. But I remain unbothered. I just love mung bean sprouts in whatever shape they come. So yeah, might be one of my favorite vegetables in the world. Fight me, JW. Let's mix those in. And now we can add our spring onions, scallions. But scallions are usually much more widely available, at least in my neck of the woods. So I decided to go for scallions. Why not? I'm starting to think this might not have been such a bad idea. But then also I haven't added the spaghetti yet. Sorry, linguine. Point of no return. Was this an epic mistake? Will the world ever recover? We will find out very soon. All right, so this is mighty dry at this point. So let's add some of our reserved pasta water. Holy smokes, this smells good. Let's just turn this off. Let's turn this baby into, well, pad thai. So obviously, the plan here is to use the residual heat from the noodles to cook both the pasta and melt the cheese. I think this is how they make pasta in Italy, and I don't see why that shouldn't work for making pad thai pasta. Guys, look at how creamy this is getting. All right, awesome. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna add shrimp. Most of it. I'm gonna leave a couple as a topping. And then also, you thought I'm completely abandoning Thai flavors here? Well, my friends, I am not. Because, in fact, I'm gonna add something to this pad thai pasta that you won't even find in a pad thai, which is Thai basil. I mean, it's a Thai ingredient, and also, when it's not Thai basil, basil is also something that you find a lot in Italian cuisine, so I really don't see why not. The smell of Thai basil is just out of this world. I love it. One of my favorite herbs. Well, let's mix this up one more time. I think it's time to serve. I mean, this is almost done, but I gotta admit that color, that's not the prettiest color I've ever seen in a pasta dish, so I think we can do a little bit better by garnishing it. Some extra mung bean sprouts. Scallions, los scallones, delicious shrimps. Thai basil as garnish. Peanuts, of course. The classic garnish for delicious pad thai. Well, what do you think? Would you eat this? Would you actually eat this? I think Thai people are about to hate me. Italian people are most certainly about to hate me, but this might be the tastiest pad thai of my life. Let's find out. Okay, so how should I review this? First of all, let's say it's totally edible. I was like worried that this might be something that you don't even want to put in your mouth, but I thought we might get the best of all worlds, like the delicious flavors of a pad thai and the amazing like texture and lightness of Italian pasta. But this just pretty much tastes like a mediocre pad thai with cheese. So it's not bad, but it's also not great. I think what this could benefit from is a slightly better balancing of flavors. I feel like this is lacking salt. This might even be lacking umami, and it's a little bit heavy on the sourness from the tamarind. Tofu crumbles work great. They work really great. But I'm not sure if I'm gonna make this again. This is tricky. I mean, what would you guys do to improve this? Do you have any ideas? Because I feel like we have something here. You've seen a happier Andong tasting food. So you know what that means. Eypee, I think you need to try.
Thank you. I'm really looking forward to the shrimps. Why is it so sour?
Tamarind.
Oh, I think the cheese doesn't go well with these like Asian ingredients.
Have a shrimp though.
Ooh, that was good.
Yeah, shrimps never fail. Look, the reason I was hopeful this is gonna work is A, because of dandan noodles, the dandan noodle pasta we made a couple of months ago. That was awesome. That worked super well. And also, I know that in California, in the San Francisco region, there is this like kind of Vietnamese fusion dish where it's sort of Italian pasta with tons of garlic and olive oil, but then also fish sauce and oyster sauce and cheese. And it's like one of the most delicious pasta dishes I have ever had. So good. So I was hoping this was gonna be as delicious as that, you know, San Francisco style fusion cheese fish sauce pasta, and this is not. It really is not. But guys, this is a channel where we try to push the limits. We are doing exploratory cooking here. We want to discover new dishes, new flavors, new stories, and sometimes, just sometimes, this is what you have to take into account. Sometimes not everything turns out the way you want it to. And when that happens, I think you guys deserve to know the truth. Anyway, probably gonna go back to more recipe testing for the next time I cook. But until then, please stay with me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.